some years ago, Sir John Eccles, a neuroscientist, actually he was awarded Nobel Prize in medicine for some discoveries about how brain works. And he has a very interesting quote. He says something like, I want you to know that there are no colors in the real world. There are no fragrances in the real world. There is no beauty and there's no ugliness. Out there beyond the limits of our perceptual apparatus is this ceaselessly flowing, erratically ambiguous quantum soup. And we're just like magicians in that through the very act of perception, we take that quantum soup and we convert it into our experience of the material reality. And we do this in our everyday waking state of consciousness. I don't know about you, but that hit me. I'm sure you know, a while ago, people believed that Earth was flat. Because that's how it seemed, and it still seems. And actually, they were taking pretty strict precautions when they're navigating the oceans to pay attention not to fall over. You know that. But now we know better, don't we? Also, it was a time when people believed that Earth is the center of the universe and Sun was revolving around the Earth, because that's how it seemed. And again, for me, it still seems that way. You see the sun coming up from that side, going all over the sky and falling and going down on the other side. So it still looks this way. But we know better today. Less than 200 years ago, people believed, and doctors believed, that disease comes from bad smells, from miasmas. Did you know that? And they're actually going about healing those patients by, bringing flowers, all sorts of nice smelling stuff. And I'm sure they're good people. They really wanted their patients to heal. But they're starting from a misunderstanding of how things work. Because that's how it seemed. Ill people were usually smelling bad. So it was a symptom of that. But they took it as a cause. And also, it seems as if our feelings are coming from our external circumstances. It seems that way. We have an exam coming up, or the boss is calling us to his office, and we already started to feel anxious, or we're looking at our bank account and we feel in a particular way, or we remember some event where somebody did something badly to us, and we start to feel anger or whatever. And it seems as if our feelings come from that external circumstance. Although there are many, many examples to prove us that actually that's not true. Think about that. You and I, we can go to the same movie. It is the same movie over there on the screen, and still we're going to have a different experience out of it. Or going to a football game. I know that I'll be bored to death. Now, you might probably be overly excited and yelling and screaming and feeling excited. We're looking at the same thing and still we have a different experience. And I would like to suggest to you that just as if in the world of form there are principles at work, like the principle of gravity. Objects are attracted towards the middle of the earth, so that's basically what it is, simplistically put. In the same way, in the formless world are also principles at work. And they call that the principle of thought. And what principle of thought states is that we create our experience, or our experience is created by the unfolding of the principle of thought taking form in the moment by moment. And that means that we cannot experience reality directly, but through thought, through the principle of thought. And whatever it is our personal experience of that particular thing that we're looking at comes entirely from our thinking, comes entirely from what we think about that situation or about that thing. And I can tell you, your feelings, your experience knows nothing about how that situation will unfold, about what you should do, how people think of you. Your experience doesn't even know that that situation even exists, or that thing even exists. All that your experience is telling you is what you think about it. That's all it can do. It is just as if right now you're sitting in your chair, and I'm sure you feel some sensations, a pressure between your body and the chair. No, that's a side effect of the principle of gravity basically unfolding in this moment. You probably didn't even pay attention to that sensation up until I mentioned it. But now that you feel it, I'm sure you don't fuss about it. You don't freak out about it. I feel this sensation. I need a therapist to help me handle this sensation. because you know it's natural. It is a natural side effect of a natural principle at work, the principle of gravity. And I invite you to contemplate the fact that whatever sensation or experience, not sensation, whatever your experience is, whatever your feelings are in regards to a particular thing that you're looking at, or maybe something you want to create, or maybe a phone call you need to make to a client, or something that you feel a little bit of anxiety about it, I invite you to regard that experience, that feelings, those feelings just as a natural side effect of the principle of thought unfolding in this moment. And that particular experience knows nothing about that phone call you're about to make, about the people looking at you, whatever they think of you, or anything like that. So I invite you to just contemplate the fact that there is no need for you to be afraid of your experience. Just embrace it and go on creating whatever you're about to create in that moment. Think about that.